Last one, TCU and Okie State. Money for the Cowboys, 12.5, 71 the total at home. They're always going to take money. They're sexy. They can score. NFL quarterback, NFL wide receiver. Matchup problem for TCU in this series? Yes. Favored by 6 each of the last 2 meetings and blown out. Last year, +6. Cowboys won 31-6 on the road. 2 years ago at home, 49-29 at home. Rudolph in Washington going to create problems for anybody. He's averaging 12.1 yards per pass, 11 touchdowns and 1 interception, 1,100 passing yards, despite not taking a snap in the fourth quarter yet. Mercy. Washington averaging 28 yards per catch, or 28 yards on 13 catches, 3 going for touchdowns, as he's put up big numbers. And it's not just him, though. As we talked about before the season, when they played Tulsa, they have 5 weapons. They have 4 or 5 good wide receivers and a terrific running back in Hill. So what do I, if I'm a defensive coordinator, what do I take away?
It's impossible. When you have it's the same thing in the NFL. When you have the passing game, they can go 5 wide and everyone can catch and make a play. That's when you get your Tom Brady situations. Your offenses that just can't be stopped. Matt Ryan last year with Atlanta. I don't know how anyone stops Okie State. When you have 5 quality receivers and an elite NFL-bound QB, a first-round NFL QB, and a strong offensive line to protect them, it's clearly everyone's tried. No one's done it so far this season. And that's why, this line is way out of whack with where it's been. And it's my fault on the graphic. By the way, there's a mistake on that graphic. It says that Oklahoma State was -6. They were +6 against TCU each of the last 2 years. This year, obviously, laying points, laying double digits, and taking money. But, 4 different players had over 100 receiving yards against Pitt. You have Washington, who has averaged 19.9 yards per reception, over 165 catches in his career. He could be the first collegiate player ever to catch 200 balls and average 20 yards per reception. That's what James Washington is capable of doing. He's sick. Here's the quote from Gary Anderson about trying to defend, or Gary Patterson, I should say, about trying to defend this team. Quote, "We've got to play coverage and we've got to play the deep ball. If you want to stay in the game, you can't allow Oklahoma State to throw the deep ball, plain and simple. You've got to make them drive it." I agree with that assessment in theory. In practice, may be hard for a TCU team that gave up a whole lot of big plays to SMU in the passing game last week. Maybe hard for them to accomplish, even though it's what they're trying to do.
Yes, and will TCU move the ball against Oklahoma State? Now, SEC is Alabama and the 13 Dwarfs. It's been that way for a while. The national media won't say it. It's an overrated conference. Also, how do you slow down an SEC? How do you slow down a Big 12 offense with an SEC quarterback? I don't get this. Kenny Hill hype. A couple of years ago, they opened up the season at South Carolina. It was preseason top 10. He was great, but South Carolina lost 6 games that year. So who cares? Get rid of the preseason polls. Kenny Hill lost his job a month later. Last year, he was horrible. He had 17 interceptions and 13 touchdowns. That might be backwards. But in any event, they have struggled. He hasn't played that well in these games either. I think their numbers are phony. They blew out a cupcake to start. They went on the road to Arkansas. They couldn't do anything on offense. The defense was forcing turnovers and bailed them out. And Arkansas fumbled a kickoff that led to a short drive too. And okay, so big deal. You lit it up against SMU. Gary Patterson on Kenny Hill. I think some of the problems last year was he felt like he needed to be perfect. I broke him down a little bit too much, maybe not understanding quite as well. He and I have a lot better understanding of what we're trying to get accomplished here in that one. I don't know. What do you think? They're going to take money every week because it's Okie State. It appears to be a matchup problem. It's supposed to be a Gary Patterson defense, but I'm with you. SMU did whatever they wanted in the first half. What do you think of this one?
And SMU, even with the points put on the line in the fourth quarter, SMU was still able to make plays in the passing game against that TCU defense. And look, let me make this very clear. Oklahoma State is a one-way team. If I'm playing, I'm laying. This point spread out of whack with historical numbers, out of whack with recent numbers, out of whack in many sense, in many sense with what we expect from TCU this season. We expect a big bounce back from TCU this season. But you talked about Kenny Hill, and I apologize. Today the graphics are a little bit. There are 2 that we screwed up today, which doesn't happen all the time. But the interceptions and touchdowns are reversed on that. Hill, 75% completions this year, 8 TDs, only 2 picks. He's certainly shown signs, but make no mistake about it. if TCU is going to cover this number, they're going to have to trade points with Oklahoma State. And Kenny Hill's going to have to get this option in the end zone again and again and again because the Cowboys, as they are in every game, are a threat to score 40 plus.
Hey guys, for the full video, go to sbrpicks.com.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now, we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.